When people are used to getting you at a discount, they are going to feel ripped off if you ever know your worth and demand that from them. I used to be a people pleaser. I would go above and beyond, bend my back till it broke, do everything, and always be like, no, it's okay, it's fine, it's fine. And the people who got this from me enjoyed it, but I was suffering on the inside. I would be resentful, I would be exhausted, and I also didn't know how to say no. It got to the point where I had to really stop and say, if you're doing things for people, if you're offering yourself to people and you're angry that they're saying yes, instead of being angry that they're saying yes, why don't you just stop offering things that you don't have the capacity for? And yes, this sounds simple in theory, but there are so many components that go along with this. The first one being the fact that you have to unlearn that your value is attached to doing stuff. Maybe it's because growing up, I noticed that the more stuff I did well, the more positive affirmation and attention I got. But as an adult, I have been that person who wants to produce and who thinks that if I stop producing, people are going to stop loving me. I also know that this is not the truth. I know that it's this wild thing that I've made up in my head, but at the same time, it can be really hard to separate those two, especially when you are so used to being a people pleaser. So aside from the reactions of other people, the first hurdle that I really had to get over was realizing that no, even when you're still, even if you do nothing, even if you were to never do another thing, you would still be enough. I remember having a conversation with one of my friends, and I was telling him that, yeah, you find me so interesting to talk to because of everything I've done. And he had to stop me and be like, if you never did another thing, you would still be just as interesting as you are. And I was like, okay. Thanks for that. That's really kind. But it took a little while for me to get to a place where I actually believed this. And I had to really intentionally stop doing stuff. The first thing that I noticed that really started happening was that people started testing the access that they had to me. People also determine their value in your life by the patterns of the behavior that you do. So if I was someone who would always pick up the phone, even at 3 a.m., someone would call me and I'd be groggy and they'll be like, oh, you're sleeping, it's okay. And I'm like, no, tell me what it is, even though I really need that sleep. The moment you stop doing those things, that person is also going to be affected by how they see themselves. You're setting a new boundary for your life. You're no longer honoring people while dishonoring yourself, but that person who's used to getting you in that way and having that access to you is going to feel like, oh, is it because I did something wrong? Are they upset with me? Do they no longer want to be my friend? Because you've set this pattern, right? So this is one of the things that you really need to pay attention to when you start to stop your people pleasing ways. Make sure that you communicate the change of access that people are going to have with you, and also understand that some people are not going to be happy with it. There are some people who want to call you in the butt crack of dawn and expect you to pick up every single time. The phone rings once, you pick up twice. And even if you explain to them that, hey, I have an early morning, I'm actually putting my phone on do not disturb, even my favorites aren't going to be able to come through, they're never going to get it. But then as long as you've communicated, it's not your responsibility to figure out if they understand it or not. Another dynamic shift that you might see in your relationships as you start to find your voice and really do what serves you first is that people will start to project their insecurities onto you. If somebody is used to having access to you however they want, if they knew that you were their go-to person to hang out at 3 in the morning, to go to the clubs till 5 in the morning, to go drinking and do all of those things, and you now decide that you don't want to do those things for yourself, again, they're going to project that it has something to do with them. So that whole, do you think you're better than us now, is not really a question that you have to answer. It's a question that they have to answer, because they now feel that what you're doing is elevating you. And if both of you are on the same level and you've decided that that level is no longer good and you need to elevate, instead of them being happy for you, they look at it and they wonder, why does she need to elevate further than me? Does she think that I'm too low, or we were too low? And if I stay in this place and she's now over here, she now thinks she's above me and I'm below her, so she must think she's better than me. But you could hear how all of this has really nothing to do with you. When you start walking in your purpose, when you find your voice, when you prioritize your peace and well-being, when you strive for the best versions of yourself, you are doing something that many people talk about but don't actually do. And what happens is that it's fun when we're all on the same level of having these conversations of, oh, I want to get this, I want to make this amount of money, I want to be in this certain place, but none of us do it because nobody is pressured. But the moment one person like exits the matrix and starts doing the thing that everybody's been talking about, now everybody who's within that circle is like, if they can do it, and we've all been talking about it, and we were at the same like level, that means I can do it. And if I can do it and I'm not doing it, that means it's my fault. And if it's my fault, then I can make it better. But for me to make it better, I would have to do more work. And if I don't want to do that work, I'm going to feel guilty because now the control is within me. So instead of me feeling guilty and uncomfortable, why not take that person who left the circle and try to pull them back in? Because now if we're all on the same level again, doing the same thing, talking about stuff, but not actually doing it, I feel comfortable because I'm not the only one who's not doing it. All of us are not doing it. So that's really how projection works. And when you get to this space where you want to start doing new things and being better, people are going to throw that at you all the time. Another thing is that your confidence, when you start to walk in this purpose and find your voice, can make people uncomfortable. As I said, access is a big thing, but also when you're a people pleaser, you have no boundaries, and your boundaries are suggestions. So even when you have said no in the past, if somebody nagged you enough, you would probably give in and say yes. So this time when you're like, no, I said I can't do it for you and I'm not doing it, they're gonna be like, who do you think you are? And why are you treating me like this? But again, none of this is your fault or your concern. They're just things that you need to be prepared for so that as you are elevating, as you're lifting, as you're growing and becoming who you're meant to be, you won't let these uncomfortable but inevitable stumbling blocks block you on your way because you already know they're coming. Knowing they're coming, though, doesn't mean that they're going to be more comfortable, but at least when they come, you understand that they're on the way and you can bypass them or navigate them more confidently than if you were just confused and you were blindsided by it. These are some of the growing pains that are going to come with finding your voice. But although they are painful, what would be more painful is staying stuck somewhere that you know you're outgrowing. So prepare for the stretching and brace yourself because you know that on the other side of it is this beautiful, liberated, in control, confident, stunning version of you that you deserve to see through. And also know that the discomfort people have with it is also going to be temporary if these people actually care about you, because as you're adjusting and becoming, they are also adjusting and becoming comfortable with this new version of you. And as long as you stay the course and you honor yourself first, people who really love you are going to respect the fact that you honor yourself, and they are going to honor you as well. I really hope this helps you. So if you love this video, subscribe. If you like this video, like. And if you think that there is a friend of yours or someone in your life who needs to hear this, please share it with them. And remember to continue to be kind to yourself because you're a work in progress and you're making progress. And I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.